Good evening. Day 3 of my self-imposed live challenge. And again, it's a late one, but that's the life of a busy family, isn't it? So, as my title suggests, there's a funny, not funny, story that happened today. So it all came about when my daughter and I were actually here in my office, and we were leaving, and I was walking out first. She was behind me, and I was pulling the door closed behind me. And then next thing I hear this crunch, and my daughter cry out, and I've accidentally pulled the door closed on her fingers behind her. Goodness knows how this has happened. And so I've bundled her up, and I'm taking her into the kitchen and getting the ice out of the freeze, and I'm getting really upset because she's crying in pain and really upset. I'm getting the ice thing out. Next thing, I start crying, which is not like me at all. And my husband's in the kitchen as well. He's like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "I've just crunched Nikki's fingers in the door. It sounded horrible. I really hurt her." And he's like, "Okay, all right." Next thing, she's okay. And the two of them are laughing at me because I'm crying about crunching her fingers. And so that's the funny part of the story, is that my reaction was ended up being an overreaction because Nikki ended up being okay. So that then led us to sort of peel back the layers as to why I had this overreaction to her fingers being crunched in the door, which is actually really horrible. And it was because a few minutes prior to that, we had just escaped an internet scam phone call. And those things stress me out because I like to trust people. I like to believe that people are good, they have good intentions. And so when someone's trying to tell me that they're calling to fix a problem that a notification came through for that I didn't notify them about, I just ended up I just passed the phone over because I did not need that stress. But I felt stressed about it, like the initial part of the phone call. And then my husband, he checked in with me again a little bit later because of me crying over Nikki's fingers. He's like, "Are you okay?" And I said, "Yeah, I was just stressed about the scam call." And then he's like, "Oh, and you had also just been watching Star Wars." A little bit about me is that I get stressed by watching movies like that. And this is like, hey, Emily, this is, well, it ended up being like the sixth one that came out in the full actual sequence. It's the third one. It's the one where Anakin Skywalker eventually becomes Darth Vader. And so it's very, very tense. And so I had obviously got this base level of stress built up, then the scam phone call, and then Nikki's fingers being caught in the door and that crunching. And so that topped me over to crying when I crunched her fingers in the door. So it just goes to show how quickly stress can build up in just the day to day. And so I'm totally fine, and I'm maybe a bit PMSy as well because I'm like right in that last week of my cycle. So put that on top, and there's like it's a recipe for me doing a very unusual crying incident that is not like me at all. Um, so as I've said in the description in Facebook, at least I'll put it in Instagram. Having that little bit of a cry and having my husband check in with me and my daughter telling me that she was completely fine then completed that stress cycle. So it meant that I did calm down at the end of it. There was no trauma. And there's trauma and there's trauma. There's big T trauma when There's a really obvious thing where we go, yeah, I've been traumatized by that incident. And then there's little T traumas. And children throughout their life will face and accumulate those little T traumas that will amount to you feeling like you may have had a traumatic childhood that doesn't fit the textbook big T trauma. But I'm not saying that it was a traumatic incident, but completing the stress cycle is really important, even on those little day-to-day things. So having a loved one check in with you, having a laugh about it. My goodness, laughing is one of the best things to bring your mood back up again. And even crying will actually help you complete the stress cycle as well. So that's my funny, not funny story about today's little stressful incident, as a little example of how these things can just build up until you snap or you crack or you cry. And the incident was with me today. I hope you have an amazing rest of your evening, and I will see you again tomorrow. Good night.